black people in America were taken, like, think of it like Frankenstein. You know, like Frankenstein would take the arm from this place and the leg from this place and the head from this place, and they were created.
Wow.
Into what they are.
What's the form of eugenics, Kobe?
They're severed from what they were. You see, the black people on the continent of Africa, they still have, even though they were colonized and you know, enslaved on their continent, they still, because they were in their continent, they got to hold on to some remnants of their culture, their language, their foods, stuff like that, right? So they, even though they were colonized, they weren't totally severed from who they were. The black American is severed from who they were and then cultivated and created into this being. So they don't have a natural language. Their language is the language of the person that created them. Do you get what I'm saying? They don't have a natural religion. Their religion is the religion of the person that created them. They don't have everything that they have has been cultivated by the people that created them. Black people don't like each other.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Why don't we like each other, bro?
Black people don't like each other, and it's shown within the attitudes and the behaviours that we act out towards each other. Generally, I would say in the West.
So honest, man. I love that about you.
Listen, black people don't like each other, right? Black people generally don't like each other. I said some of the worst. Let's say some of the worst people that have looked at me on the street have been from black people, and I'm like, I don't even know you, bro. What is this disdain that you got in your heart for me? And so when you look at, you know, some of the crime and stuff and what happens with the crime, you say to yourself...
Intraracial.
Intraracial.
Yeah, nearly 90%
of crime is intraracial, meaning that it's white on white, Chinese on Chinese, black on black.
The highest number in the black community.
Yeah, because black people don't like it, but black people have been taught to hate each other. They've been taught to.
So you don't think we can... end that conditioning? Because look, brother, I can show you something right now, whereas I kind of say black people, the nature of black people. I'm going to read something out very quickly. This is from Up From Slavery, because I find it really important to understand. This is kind of stuff I kind of read, and you know, so what people talk about slavery, there are very different stories of slavery and ideas around slavery. Booker T. Washington is saying, they were anxious. I'll give you a bit of a scenario. This is when, you know, the war, the war to free the slaves, like the war of the South.
Yeah, yes. Do you mean the civil?
Yeah, civil war.
Okay.
They were just as anxious to assist in the nursing of the family relatives of the wounded. So black slaves were just as anxious to assist in the nursing of the soldiers who were literally fighting to keep them in slavery, right?
Right.
But they basically, anyway, it's the nature of them.
White soldiers?
Yes, white soldiers.
Right, okay.
So some of the slaves would even beg for the privilege of sitting up at night to nurse their wounded masters. This tenderness and sympathy on the part of those held in bondage was a result of their kindly and generous nature. In order to defend and protect the women and children who were left on the plantations when the white males went to war, the slaves would have laid down their lives. So the slaves would lay down lives. So conditioning. So I mentioned this because I want to talk about conditioning. It's about being taught to think a certain way. So now,
there's a book called The Miseducation of the Negro.
Oh yeah, I read that.
The Miseducation of the Negro, and in it he says that because of the conditioning of the quote-unquote Negro, right? Negroes were used to go into the big house via the back door. They weren't allowed to go in via the front door, right? And he's actually said something that was quite funny. He said, if there's no back door, a Negro will build a back door and then go through it, because he knows that much that he's not allowed in through the front door. And so a conditioning in the Americas has been done to black people. I said a lot of black people in America won't like it, but it's not my words. There's a woman by the name of Dr. Joy Leary. Okay. She is a psychologist, black psychologist in America, American black woman, and she talks about post-traumatic slave syndrome. Is what she calls it, post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? And essentially, black people in America were taken, like, think of it like Frankenstein. You know, like Frankenstein would take the arm from this place and the leg from this place and the head from this place, and they were created into what they are.
What's the form of eugenics, Kobe?
they're severed from what they were. You see, the black people on the continent of Africa, they still have, even though they were colonized and enslaved on their continent, they still, because they were in their continent, they got to hold on to some remnants of their culture, their language, their foods, stuff like that, right? So they, even though they were colonized, they weren't totally severed from who they were. The black American is severed from who they were and then cultivated and created into this being. So they don't have a natural language. Their language is the language of the person that created them. Do you get what I'm saying? They don't have a natural religion. Their religion is the religion of the person that created them. They don't have everything that they have has been cultivated by the people that created them.
Okay, but we're all,
so when you talk about miseducation, they're not miseducated. They're educated in the way that the people that created them to be educated by. How? The fear was educated into them. The violence educated into them. Everything was educated into them via the people that cultivated them. So they're not miseducated. They're educated. They are moving along the exact line that they're supposed to move down, because the people that created them that way created them for them to be like this.
So they are completely. So just no disrespect to Americans.
No, it's not a disrespect.
So in other words, it's like you're saying that they're completely lost. Unless they follow that trajectory, and they continue.
They're completely.
But how did they go from being the person that was, protecting the master and supporting and being, come back as the wounded, looking after them, to the person that now is so anti-white and the hatred towards white people?
Black people don't hate white people.
You don't think that's the case?
They say they do, but they don't. And this is where I get controversial, right? If black people hated white people, if they really hated them, they would treat them the same way that they were treated. They don't. They love them. So what happens when a white person? They love them.
I don't hate white people.
No, I'm not talking. I don't hate white people. But when you said that,
from America.
But you said that they hate them, and I'm saying they don't hate them. They love them,
because there's definitely anti-whiteness. There's definitely no man.
Let me tell you something.
I see it, dude. I got tons of. Dude. If I have to put this stuff online, of like people on TikTok talking about, this, almost the disdain for white.
It's lip service. It's lip service. It's not.
God's sake, man.
Mark Anthony.
What's going on?
Mark Anthony. If I hated you, which I don't, bro, right? I would do something to you. If I hated you, I could say, "Oh, you see that Mark Anthony? He's a this. He's a this. He's a blah. He's a blah blah." It's lip service. You used to be in a gang. If someone's talking about doing something, what's worse? Someone talking about doing something or someone doing something?
Someone doing something.
Right. So, because people can talk all the time. Did you hear that someone said this about you? Whatever he said was so. They don't really hate you, because if they really hated you, bro, they'd do something to you, bro. So this is what I'm trying to say. Black people don't hate white people.
Thank God.
They're just talking.
God they didn't hate me that much.
But they're just talking. So I'm saying, black people in the Western world,
we hate each other though.
Because they do. That's what I'm trying to say. We do things to each other.
In America, it's 6 times more likely to kill a black, someone from our own race than a white person. And in the UK, it's 4 times. We're 4 times more likely to kill a black person than we will kill anybody else.
Like I said, because we.
Not that I don't want anyone. Please don't go and kill anyone.
But this is what I'm trying to say. We do things to each other, which shows the hate. So you can say, "Oh, I hate you," and it's like, well, that's just lip service, because you ain't showing me that you hate me. When you hate someone, you do something to them. You don't just talk about not liking them. So this is why I said, black people love white people. Black people. I know you're a Christian, but black people worship a white man in the sky.
Yeah, but
they don't.
Look at this guy. Christian. Look at this.
They don't hate white people. They love them. Black women say they don't like white women, but they got their hair on their head every day. They wear their hair. They don't hate them. There's a thin line between love and hate. They love them. A lot of them want to be them.
So is that what kind of makes up for that? What you're saying there makes me think, well, is this what's behind that kind of colorism thing and is that like a form of jealousy towards light-skinned people then?
Of course it is, because black people are the only people systematically for hundreds of years that were told that their dark skin is bad. They were the only people that were told that the way their nose looks is bad. They were the only people that were told for hundreds of years that their hair is bad. So what's that going to do to your self-confidence?
It's a form of, was it body dysmorphia?
Just going to give you body dysmorphia. That's why black people are bleaching. They're throwing on wigs. They're now doing nose jobs, right? They don't hate white people. They love them. Because if you didn't love them, you wouldn't be trying to emulate them. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's backwards. When I keep saying that, people think it's a joke because you laughed. But I'm like, no, they're not showing hate. They're showing love.
It's interesting that you basically have come to that conclusion, because I don't think people are very honest enough or capable of actually recognising that.
Right.
You know, and that's the issue, because you've got to be honest, and that's what I love talking to you, because I think that very few people I'm going to speak to are going to be honest. And
that's probably it's my gift and my curse is me being so.
Yeah, but it's a deep fear, and I think, but once we get to that point as black people, we understand we have to be honest. Just be honest about stuff, then we will be able to undo the conditioning.
Did you grow up in the time where black men are saying, "Oh, I want a lighty, I want a light-skinned girl"? Because I did. I've never been, no respect to everyone, I've never been into light-skinned girls. No, but I'm saying... And
I ain't nothing bad about it, I just not.
No, I'm saying... much
like me.
I'm not talking about you. I'm saying, did you grow up in an era where black men were saying, oh, I want a light-skinned girl? Because I did.
Okay.
I did, right? So anything closer to whiteness means it's more beautiful. Now, I don't have a problem with that because you're in the West. So the West standard of beauty is probably going to be the one that you're going to adhere to because you're in the West. So Western women, blonde hair, blue eyes, blah, 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 is going to be looked upon as the standard of beauty. I don't have a problem with that because I'm living here. If I was living in Africa, the standard of beauty might be different. But I'm living here. Black people consistently, both the men and the women, are consistently showing that they love white people. They don't hate them. They're trying to emulate their hairstyle. They're trying to emulate their nose. They're trying to get rid of the darkness in their skin. The men are trying to go for lighter or whiter women a lot of the time, right? And I'm saying, listen, you don't hate, you love. Because the people that you do hate is the other black people. That's the ones that you really try to kill and unalive and, disrespect. And like I said, and worship.
Do you know? Yeah, possibly. Maybe you're saying I can't disagree with anything you're saying. I have to prove it. I can't show that proof of that.
You can disagree though.
Yeah, but I don't really know. Don't know enough to be able to disagree. I know what I know about how I feel, but I can't say that's the same for other people.
Right.
I'm sure there are people who are like, I've got to date a white woman, and that's where they're going. They want their kids to be mixed race.
Yeah.
It was the opposite for me. But I don't want to disrespect my wishes. It was the opposite for me. I literally wanted my kids to be darker, so they wouldn't have to go through what I went through. No, I mean, I grew up. I remember I was seeing this lady, another Jamaican, lighter skinned Jamaican at one point in time, and she said to me, "Oh, her grandma. She remembers her grandma pinching the nose." Of her grandchildren to try and make sure their nose is straighter. Oh, you don't want their nose too wide, blah 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 blah, and all that type of stuff. Like I said, that's because serious crazy
because the standard of beauty is white. So that's when I say people don't hate black people. Don't hate white people. If black people hated white people, do you know what you'd have? You'd have sleeper cells of black people plotting and planning and scheming to kill white people. That's what hate would do. Because we know who the sleeper cells are. We know what countries they come from. We know what religion they are. They're the ones that really hate people. Black people don't hate.